don't I start a new video?
You don't have to, because you can break the video up. It doesn't make a difference. Okay, so, hey everybody, my name's Jason. This is Erika. We're Jason and Erika Elmore, and we own High Road Coffee Roasters. And we are currently located in Independence, Kansas, a small community of about 10,000, probably higher than 10,000 these days, but 10,000 in southeast Kansas. So just to give you kind of an idea of what we're trying to do here as coffee business owners, we kind of have some background here. And one of the things that we found in the process of where we're at today is there weren't a lot of YouTube videos. And so we thought there weren't a lot of YouTube videos about coffee shop, old downtown business, historic renovations. So long story short, that's what we're putting together this vlog for, video vlog for.
Yep.
So
take you along our process.
So I don't know, is there anything else? Let's just roll with this one.
Okay.
Should we tell them anything else about ourselves? Like, do you have any, like, I'm a beekeeper. That's something that most, well, people around here know, but
yep.
I actually used to be a business teacher, a high school business teacher and real estate agent in Missouri.
I used to be a radiology technologist before I had kids, and then I stayed at home with them.
Right. When we moved to Kansas, we moved to Sedan, Kansas, and I am working in the oil field industry right now. But since moving to Sedan, we've actually moved to Independence, which is about 30 minutes away. I still work over there, but we have been, Independence is just, we've just...
There's a lot going on, and it's a good community, especially if you're homeschooling. There's lots to do. The library is wonderful.
We love Independence.
Yeah, we really do.
Simply put, I think that's the best way to describe it. There's just, it's just been great.
It's been a good move.
Absolutely been great here. So we're High Road Coffee Roasters. And I'm going to let Erika kind of explain just a little bit for those, whether you're a customer or just trying to figure out where this is going. I'll let Erika explain that.
So in 2020, we decided, well, we've always kind of wanted to own a coffee shop, but it was not feasible. So we just thought that we'd start from kind of the ground up, and the best way to do that was to start roasting coffee. So we started looking on Facebook Marketplace for a coffee roaster. We were very specific on what we wanted. We knew that we wanted to air roast coffee. We didn't want any propane or natural gas in the process of that roasting. So it took us a little while to find one because they get snatched up pretty quickly too. But we finally found one, and it was located in western Kansas. So it was about an 8-hour drive for him. So it was fairly easy to get to. I say that because I wasn't the one driving.
There was a blizzard.
So. Yeah, that too. But as soon as we found that coffee roaster, he went and grabbed it. And then it sat in our garage for a couple months while we searched YouTube again on how we were gonna do this, the whole process of it. And finally we just kind of had to jump into it. We never found like a real how-to coffee roast, but so it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of coffee beans that were wasted. They were put in our garden bed for compost.
Yes, inches.
So yeah, it was really bad. But finally, in July 2020, we did our first farmers market selling bags of coffee, and we've been there ever since. We've done so many farmers markets, so many vendor events. And then I do a thing on Fridays that's called Free Delivery Fridays. So people here in Independence will put in their orders, and I'll deliver all over, delivering bags of coffee. He'll deliver to Caney and Sedan. So that's kind of where we're at. Oh, and that fall too, we also bought a dedicated shop that would be our roastery, and we started renovating that as well, but then getting our roaster down there. We were roasting down there. So it took us a long time to renovate, about 1.5 years. We lived and breathed coffee, everything for that 1.5 years. So we decided to take just a little mini vacation up to Kansas City, where we were just going to shut off our phones and just get away a little bit with our kids. And you can pick up from there.
So essentially, I think it was probably close to 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3 years altogether, where we had started working with coffee, working in coffee. I'll put it that
Learning
way.
it,
That
doing
learning
it,
it,
yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
When it ended up happening was COVID had also hit about the same time that we started that. So when we needed a break, like so many people. We hadn't been on a vacation since COVID had started, and we had done all these renovations on that facility, and finally took a break. So on our way, when we were up there, we literally just turned the phones off. And on our way home, I had received a call during our break, because we're about a week and a half from having the renovations completed in our facility so that we could actually open to the public. When we got this call, and this gentleman had been looking for a facility for himself, whether to lease or to buy. He needed it. There's been a lot of economic development in Independence the past several years, and so things are really hopping around here, which is exciting. This gentleman didn't have a place to go, and we had just spent a year and a half working on our facility, and I just said no, there's no way. He reached back out to us probably about a week later.
Situation more so.
Yep, and then we started evaluating the situation, and we said to ourselves, this might be an opportunity, even though we are right at the finish line with all the work that we've done. It might be an opportunity to get where we had hoped we were gonna, we were gonna go, and that was downtown. So we made the decision at that time to go ahead and sell our location and start searching in downtown Independence. At the time, I saw a huge window of opportunity, because there's several businesses that have been for sale, and so lots of choices. And so when we started the real estate search, we didn't know. I don't know that real estate agents really knew what was fixing to happen, but there was a lot of activity that just came right into Independence. And as exciting as it is to look back at today, it caused it was stressful.
Well, when we sold the property too, we had the 1031 exchange. So we were on a timeline of when we could identify the next property. So we had 45 days to identify that next property. So
every property that we looked at to put on our 1031 list, unfortunately, was going under contract. They had been sitting, a lot of these had been sitting for sale for a year and a half. But all these, the economic development, there was multiple people coming into the community at the exact same time. And like I said, it was exciting. We just didn't know it was going to happen at the exact moment.
Right as we sell our thing.
So it was very challenging. But in hindsight, everything seems to have worked out, because we are, like she said, the 1031, it is extremely important you follow your deadlines. And the first deadline you have to meet is 45 days. You have to identify a certain amount of properties. On day 40, I think it was day 43, we had 0 properties to identify. So the whole process was going to blow up in our face if we didn't. So I went into my real estate agent's office, and I said, I feel like we have looked at every possible property that we could have. Well, there's nothing out there. It's either been sold, it's under contract, or we just weren't interested. And she looked at me and she said, well, there's one that you haven't seen. And you have to remember that when you're looking for real estate, everything's so much about location, 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 that we had identified a certain area that we wanted to be in. It just so happened that this property wasn't, and this is my fault, and I have said this ever since it occurred, but I missed it by about 3 buildings. It's essentially in the nexus of our prime area that we really wanted to be in. And on that 43rd day, I called you and said, hey, there's one more. We came, set up a showing, and we couldn't believe it. We got in here and it is perfect. Like,
yeah, it was exactly what we were looking for. It wasn't too big, wasn't too small. Yeah, it was just exactly what we were looking for, and so
yeah, everything about it has been just wonderful.
Yeah.
So that pretty much gets us to about the 1st of 2023, around January 1st. We actually closed January 3rd on this property. One of the things that
I was gonna say, meanwhile, like, we put this property under contract back in August or September, but we also had to go to the city and get approval, a conditional use permit, so that we would be allowed to roast in the downtown district. So that had to be approved because we didn't want to close on this building and then be denied getting to roast down here, because that was the big thing.
Every municipality that is out there, if you're looking to open up a roastery or a coffee shop and you're wanting to go commercial of any type, every municipality is going to be different. There's going to be different hoops, different things that you're going to have to do. So we would encourage you, it's worth it. I believe it's going to be worth it. However, the siren's going to blow.
It is.
I wonder if we're going to hear the siren.
Maybe.
We're doing this on a Saturday.
And they test the sirens every Saturday at noon. So there you go.
It's short.
Yeah. But anyways, January 3rd we closed.
January 3rd we closed, and we have gotten to this point today. Well, one of the things we set out to do when because we've had so much time to kind of the closing dates and all this time has actually allowed us to research things. One of the things we've researched is our building is it's over 100. I think it's like 120. Yeah. 120 some years old. Yeah. So it's an old historic downtown building that we're hoping to turn into a coffee shop. Now you try and YouTube that. There's not a whole lot of those. There's renovations of current coffee shops. There's it's just
turning a coffee shop into a home.
Yeah, there's a lot of renovations about homes or old homes, but there's not this. And so we figured, let's see if we can do that. And so out of the gate, now I will say we're kind of a little bit behind on the video already, but we stopped. We did this on a Saturday, regardless if the sirens are going to air or through the video or not. But the one thing that we set out to do is we hope to give so many people, not only our own customers, an idea of what we're having to do and what we're preparing for them, but also for those coffee shop owners that have been interested in what it's like to do. We hope that this helps. But the biggest thing that Eric and I have both talked about is we want to be consistent. That's the one thing that we've seen, because there's a lot of YouTube videos that do a pretty good job, but sometimes their breaks are just massive. And so you have, line in the sand here, I think we can say we're going to be better. We should be better at that.
Showing you each step of it.
Little things. Yeah. Well, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the little things, because I like to see that. Like, some guy had shown, everything that his architect did and all the papers that came with that, and I was like, oh my gosh, so that's why we had to get an architect. That's what we're gonna get to. I just didn't know how much that they do and how needed that is. So I don't know, I thought that was really good, and so we just want to include all those little details that some people would miss.
There's some things, there's nuances that you're not going to find in a lot of build outs when you're dealing with a building that's 120 some years old. So it'll be fun. Like I said, I've been in real estate, and we have renovated a few of our own personal homes and a couple of flips, but this this is something that we've not done this. We are not experts there. So we will try and document it, and we hope that you will hang out with us. And
this will be the only like interview type of video too. Everything else will be.
This is awkward as get out. If you've never done this,
try to talk to a camera.
Try to talk to a camera. Right.
Some of these YouTubers make it look so easy, and it is not.
And it would be awesome if somehow. It would be awesome if we could get this monetized, but understand we're not shooting for that. This is more of if we can give other folks an idea, one, of what we're doing, and for coffee shop owners that are in similar scenarios, ground up, starting, working hard.
I think even our customers here in town, though, would really find this interesting to see, because, again, not too many people really share their build-out renovation process and everything that they're doing. So
I think a lot of people...
They cover the windows.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is like that's one thing Eric and we've also talked about. We don't
want to cover the windows. We want people to be excited. We want people to be able to walk down and peek in the windows. I mean, we were recording earlier, and somebody was peeking in the window as we were talking to the camera.
Yeah,
that's just
like I said,
super awkward. But
super awkward. But.
You know, so our hopes are that we're not gonna like black out the windows or anything. So
we're excited to do this whole project.
And it'll be fun to look back on.
Yes, and if we can amazingly juggle the renovations, full-time jobs, homeschooling 4 kids. I don't know if we actually said that.
I don't know. Maybe in one of the other outtakes.
You'll meet them at some point. But if we can somehow pull all of this together and not kill each other, that would be awesome.
We deserve a medal at that point.
A medal. Yeah. Well.
Okay. Well, that's it.
I actually think, and I actually think we got this.
Yeah.
We can go have lunch.
Good. Yes.
This is.
Okay.
There's been a lot of takes.
We should cut it now before we say something.
Something.
All right. Cut.
Bye. I think that was good.
That one was good.
And let's just upload that sucker.
Yeah, because if we
we won't like it.
I know. The more we and I think that's probably what other YouTubers do too.
Ultimately, they just say, it's over.